What did you do today, Gold? Buys or sells? Sabai else. I slept the settings on this, so there's gonna be like a 3-second delay. Normally there's no delay. And I slept on Zoom this week. I've had a fucking horrible week trying to get off work early, but I'm gonna get Zoom set up for next week, and I'm gonna start sending out Zoom links next week. Because I think I qualify for memberships. So to everybody in the clubhouse, I'm gonna send the free Zoom link, but I'm gonna stay on Zoom until Asian. So I have like an hour and a half of more trading where I actually can trade on Zoom with you guys. Because I have a couple of friends of mine that a lot of people actually that are DMing me that they want to watch me trade live, but since the market sessions that I can actually trade are already taken, I can do like a 7:30 to like 8:30 on Zoom privately, and then once Market Mechanic gets on Zoom or gets on, we can get off and get some good trading time in and see what happens. But right now, ain't no way Spotify is giving me an ad right now. There we go. Some fucking copyright free music, some real copyright free music. I'm gonna start marking up some levels, waiting for like a few more people to get in, and then I'm gonna It sounds like I'm playing a speaker. Damn, so then my microphone is picking it up. Alright, so if I turn this volume all the way down, can you guys still hear the music? Oh, I think I know what I can do. Can you hear that? Oh, bro, I know exactly what's going on. How's this sound now? What do you mean? So this should sound fine. Damn, I for sure messed up the settings on the latency. I put it on normal latency when I should have put it on ultra low latency. There's a 5-second delay. But I see here the my Mac audio capture wasn't on the audio mixer, so the sound of my screen of my thing wasn't on. So this whole time, all the music I've been playing has been coming in through my speaker, through my microphone. Sorry, that's why. But bet, okay, so what did gold do today? What did we do? So today, from Asian last night that I got stopped out on my sell, gold has been driving up since then, and we hit this. So this is what I was looking at for my sells earlier today. I was thinking that if this was gonna make some sort of head and shoulders pattern, that on the 4-hour time frame, that's exactly what I was looking for the start of the reversal. So this is what I was waiting for. So I saw this 4-hour made a high. We came up, we made another high. When we rejected, this is where I had my stop loss. This is what basically what I was looking for. I was like, okay, bet. We're starting to flip bearish. Where I took my initial sells last night after we closed below this area, that I took the loss there, I was like, all right, not bad. Hold on, what am I looking at? I'm confusing myself. Let me look at my futures chart. No, that head and shoulders is not relevant right now. It's important for my next trade. So I I was bearish, right? So we had the 4-hour closed below this level. We wicked deep into the level, and then I started taking a sell. As soon as this 4-hour opened up with no bottom wick, I took a sell, trying to anticipate the top wick for it to come down for continuation. But it looked like this probably wasn't enough liquidity. If you look here, price just drove down with no top wick, drove down with no top wick, and this candle came down with barely a top wick. So you've had this massive bearish momentum without rarely any pullbacks on the 4-hour time frame. On the hourly time frame, we barely had any pullbacks as well. On the 30, we had barely no pullbacks. On the 15, we had some slight pullbacks. So the continuation trade here likely wasn't the best play. In hindsight, knowing there was barely any pullbacks on the way down and gold just doesn't continue to drive, we get some sort of pullback eventually. So after I got stopped out on this trade here, I took a loss right here. So when gold came down, that we closed below, and then we started forming what did we do? Where did I take the sell? Oh yeah, I took the sell right here. So when we formed a lower high here, that we had this massive volume candle to the downside, that's when I entered. So I anticipated this to be the lower high, and to come down off a rejection off of this level here. What did it look like on the 5-minute? It looked cleaner on the 5-minute. Yeah, it looked way cleaner on the 5-minute. So I was anticipating price to do something like it did here. You see how price drove down, we had a pullback into this previous high, and then price rejected again. That's what I was expecting for a continuation to the downside. So I marked up this level right here. Damn, I keep forgetting. So I marked up this level right here as a very, very important level. If price were to come down, retap this level, and then reject back down underneath the level, that's where I would take my sell. This is what you would call your FVG or your demand zone or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I thought this level was very, very key, very, very important. So I took sells on this level, and my stop loss was right here at the break of the high. So once we rebroke this high, I knew that the daily had already made its bottom wick, or sorry, I knew that price was likely going to continue because that was the daily high. Once you re-break the daily high, you usually get a continuation. Who knows how far? So I knew that once we broke the daily high, I did not want to be in that trade anymore. So what happened, once that daily high was broken, price just kept flying up. 3 tardies, bro. So gold has been rejecting to the upside since last night, but I was bearish. I was still very, very bearish since yesterday, especially since we have no bottom wick on the previous daily candle. So as price started driving to the upside, I used this level. I tried to anticipate the top wick at one of these levels, and that's why I took a sell here after the rejection to the downside. So that's where I anticipated the top wick would be. What's it called? And then gold did what gold does. Asia 9 o'clock came around, and price just started fucking flying and flying and flying and flying and flying and flying. So in the morning around 7:30, I had this level right here marked off. I had this zone right here marked off. And then once price started coming up and rejecting these zones, I had a 15-minute sell that I took here. So this is the trade that I took right here. Where was it? Where did I get in? Right here. So as soon as price opened up, that we had this closure below the most recent range, that this candle closed doji on this candle right here, I took a sell stop, or I market executed, sorry, on a sell on this candle right here. I had my stop loss above this 4-hour level. When you look at the 4-hour, When you look at the 4-hour, that's the head and shoulders that I was talking about. I was like, okay, if we're bearish, what would make the most sense? What would be the most optimal stop loss if we're really bearish for the day, right? If we're bearish, what's most likely going to happen? We're most likely going to, if we're going to come up, we're most likely going to reject off a major 4-hour level or any major level, right? So I'm like, all right, this is my train of thought. I'm like, okay, cool. I took an entry here for sells. If this is not where the sells happen, where is the next most logical level that sells could happen? So I started looking left and I noticed there's a 4-hour resistance here. When I marked up that 4-hour, I also noticed that if we were to reject off that 4-hour, that would then create our head and shoulders pattern. We would have our head and our shoulder. If we do reject, and that would be our perfect head and shoulders, equal highs right here, our head over here, and that would be perfect for a continuation to the downside. So that's exactly where I put my stop loss. I marked up these levels here. I found the high right here, and I gave it an extra 15 pips. So I found that high there. I gave it an extra 15 pips, and what? Bro, it was so clean. I'll show you. I'll put some screenshots up later. I took an entry right here on this second push to the downside. So you see how this candle came up, and then this next candle flipped bearish, coming back down to my entry. On this flip right here on the 5-minute, I took a second entry. So I had 2 entries. I had another entry right here. Oh, my stop loss right here. And then 5 pips from my fucking stop loss, and price just reversed. So right here was 9:30 open. 9:30, this 9:30 candle drove us up, tiny little wick, and then just dumped. And then we had the 9:45 news event, and that pushed us all the way down, and I closed my trade right here at the wick of this candle. My break even was right here, so I did not hold any runners, even though I was planning to, but I couldn't close correctly on the broker. It wasn't allowing me to because I had too many orders on the screen, so it was stopping me out for margin, because I'm only allowed to open up 5 contracts, and I had 5 contracts open, and then I had a sell stop and a buy stop to cancel out the orders, and I guess that's too many orders on the screen. But this was such a banging trade, bro. This was such a nice trade. I screen recorded this entire thing. I screen recorded my entry over here. I screen recorded when we were close to the stop loss, and I screen recorded it driving all the way down to TP. I'm going to make a short about that later. But this is exactly why you got to follow your plan, and you got to stick to being mechanical about what you're doing. Because, bro, I could have easily taken this loss and said, nah, man, I gotta hold, bro. Gold is bearish. Gold is bearish. I gotta hold, bro. Yes, maybe tonight we get a drop all the way to the downside. Maybe tomorrow we get a push to the downside. Maybe I am right. Maybe we do get fucking sells. But I was wrong on my entry. This would have been a nice double top, rejection to the downside, lower high, whatever the fuck patterns you use. This would have been a beautiful trade, but I was wrong. I cut my losses short, and I said, you know what? It's already 9:45. For me to get another entry, I would need to wait for the hourly closure, maybe another 30-minute closure. So if you're looking over here, once I got stopped out of this trade, this 30-minute close with no top wick. There was no entry there. As soon as we had this top wick on this 30-minute, there was really no level. I mean, there was a tiny little level there you could have taken a sell off of, but there was really no entry for me here. I would have had an entry maybe right here after we bounced off the SMA and we started pushing to the upside, maybe some buys here, but then that would have been like at 12 o'clock at night, and I would have had to stay up even later. So after a loss and staying up till midnight, are you really going to have the mental capacity and the energy to fully analyze a trade and take a proper trade? No, you're probably going to fuck up and want a revenge trade. So because you lost, so you're a little bit emotional, and it's late, you're cranky, you're not sleeping, and you really want to get a trade in, that's going to screw you. So I decided to go to bed, bro. And I woke up the next day. I found my setup. On this setup here, I could have 100% managed the trade much better. If you look at my entry here, so my entry was somewhere right here, right? My entry went into profit once. Sorry, no, my entry was actually much deeper because I went into profit 3 times and I didn't close. I think my entry was like right here, because, and on this candle, because we drove down a little bit and I didn't close. On this next push down, I was break even again and I didn't close. On this push down again, I was up like 6 pips and I didn't close. So I was like, nah, man, I trust my trade too much. I was trusting the trade way too much. So after the second pineapple, I was in profit and I still didn't trust the trade. I mean, I trusted the trade way too much. And if you look here on the hourly is literally going against me. If you look here on the hourly, I'm taking sells as the hourly is bullish, forming higher highs and higher lows, perfectly respecting levels all the way up. So that was perfect indication for me to get out of the trade. But I got greedy, bro. I literally got greedy and said, nah, I trust myself too much. And I trusted myself too much and not the plan that I had written down. But luckily, my stops were at a very good level. They were at a 4-hour level, and we were indeed bearish for the day. And we were indeed bearish, indeed coming up to create that head and shoulders. And that was perfect. I took my stop loss was here. I looked at the high, and I gave it an extra 15 pips. So 15 pips is an arbitrary number, but my stop loss was like 30 pips to this level here, and I said no, my stops are usually 50 to 60 pips, so I went up a little bit higher. So it was just an arbitrary stop loss. But if I would have gotten stopped out at that level, with it being 9 o'clock and having news at 9:45, I would have likely taken another entry on the flip to the downside. Probably the best entry off that level this morning. Was probably just this 5-minute closure back into range. So once we rejected all this level, that the 5 crossed over the SMA again, that we started to scoop, that we closed below the most recent support, that this candle gapped down, pulled up, and then rejected, this would have been your news trade to sell on the low. So that's the 9:45 candle. So the 5-minute candle before it closed below perfectly, the news candle pushed it up, and then we rejected to the downside. So that would have been a beautiful rebreak of the lows news trade, and I would have caught the same exact move. So I would have taken this loss for 50 pips, and then I would have caught this move down for 78 pips in a 1-minute candle. In 5 minutes, sorry. So should have closed here. I should have closed here. I should have closed here, but I held the trade, and luckily I was correct on my analysis, and my stop loss was in the perfect spot. That price ended up driving into my favor anyways. That's also why you analyze off the higher time frame. I keep my stop losses off the higher time frame, and I snipe my entries off the lower time frame. So that way, the overall picture will keep me safe. So I want to get to as close as to the most recent support or most recent resistance to have a clean stop, unless we're breaking out. But that's basically what I would like. I would like to be here. I would like to be here. I would like to be like, somewhere here or somewhere in the middle here, taking a breakout to the downside so that I'm safe. You know what I mean? So that's how I hunt and how I look for things, and how I saw the head and shoulders pattern, and I'm like, bro, that's perfect. If we do create that head and shoulders on the 4-hour, that would be a perfect stop loss. So if price was to be bearish, if price was to reject, where would the most logical area for it to reject be? And it would be at this head and shoulders pattern. It would be at this level of resistance here, where you just start looking for traffic, bro. You see how the 5 minutes paused right here. You go over here and you have a 4-minute resistance right here. And then you look over here and you have a support where price came down and formed a support in that same area. So then you're like, wow, that head and shoulders is making even more sense now. Which that head and shoulders would have been the better play to short off the top here, off that 4-hour resistance level. You draw up the 4-hour perfectly. You see price fake out off the 4-hour and then start coming back down. That's literally a perfect scenario, perfect sell off the 4-hour rejection, creating that 4-hour head and shoulders. Gold has no bottom wick, bro. Gold has no bottom wick on the previous daily and no top wick on today's daily. So that's very, very tricky. If gold does start coming down to form a bottom wick for the previous daily candle, we're going to see some insane bullish movement. Because what is that looking like to you? If gold comes down, forms a bottom wick for the previous daily or anywhere close, what is that looking like to you? It's looking like it's going to flip bullish to continue up for new highs. You haven't gone to the gym in years, bro? I go to the gym. I've been going to the gym 4 years. I started going to the gym when I was 15 when my parents divorced. And I hated the gym. And then I started gaining muscle. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh damn. I'm gaining some muscle. I started working out at 115 pounds. And I'm currently 160. I hit my final growth spurt early when I was like 14, 15, and I was one of the taller kids my age. And then from 15 to 16, I didn't grow anymore, and I started the gym at 16, I think, because I needed a license to be able to get into the gym. So I started at 16. I mean, once or twice a week is all you really need. I go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, and I hit my muscles once a week or twice a week. It depends. I try to hit the same muscle twice a week every other week, because if I hit it twice a week every week, I don't recover fast enough. So I hit like I'll do like chest and tricep on Monday, and then I'll do back and bicep on Tuesday, then I'll do legs and then chest on the same day. So I'll do my chest again with my legs, or I'll do my back again with my legs. That's usually what I do. And then the next week I usually go 2 to 3 days a week. Damn, I got something in my eye. But yeah, I started off super skinny, so I started off at 115 pounds, bro, at 5'8". What'd you guys catch today? Oh, am I not on my account? There we go. But man, if we re-break this 4-hour high after the daily breaks these lows, bro, do you think we're gonna see another fucking push to the upside? Another China pushing us up like it did last night? It's been doing it literally continuously non-stop. What up, Jonathan? Yeah, bro. That's something that I struggled with a lot growing up, just eating. I didn't like a lot of foods, and I just didn't eat that much. To be honest, one of the things that made me gain more weight was smoking some Mary Jane. because I actually have an appetite now that I didn't have before. Yeah, bro. At least for me, bro. I didn't have an appetite at all. No appetite. I wouldn't eat nothing. I would wake up in the morning, have some coffee. I would have some like rice and eggs for lunch. And then I'm like, damn, what am I going to go eat? And then the only thing that I would like would be like a McChicken and stuff. And like now, smoke a little J. In like 20-30 minutes, I'm starving. I get the munchies. And I go and I eat my steak, my eggs, my rice, my potatoes, and then I'll have my dessert, my blueberry pie with my scoop of ice cream, and yeah. So now that I'm on a bulk right now, so I was still on a bulk, but most of it was like muscle memory. So I'm trying to get to 170. I'm trying to gain 10 pounds. So in the morning, I drink my 2 cups of milk, my 16 grams of protein. For lunch, I always have 6 ounces of chicken with potato, or I'll have 8 or 9 ounces of beef. Wait, sorry, 7 ounces of beef, because my packs come in like 1 point something or some shit like that, so I have to divide it like by 7 ounces. So I'll have 7 ounces of beef with also potato. So every day I have either chicken and potato or beef and potato for lunch. And then I usually always get either a frappe from McDonald's or one of those Starbucks coffee drinks. The frappes have a lot of calories. That's why I like them, because since I struggle to eat a lot of food, the frappes are very light on my stomach, and they have like 600 to 800 calories. So I'll get like a small that has like 400 calories. Or the Starbucks drinks that have like 300 calories. So by like lunchtime, I'll already be like 100 grams of protein in. So I'll have like 20 in the morning, and then like I'll have like another 50 or 60 for lunch. So yeah, I'm probably like 80. And then for dinner, I'll have like another 50 or 60 for dinner. So I'm at like 130 to like 150 grams of protein per day. Depends what my snack at the end of the day is. If it's more milk at the end of the day, then I'll hit my like 160 to 170 per day. But if it's like another blueberry pie, then I'm not gonna hit it. Yeah, I love my potatoes. I love my chicken, beef. That's the thing, bro. Protein shakes make me want to gag and throw up. The same thing with a pre-workout. When I drink my pre-workout, I have to like brush my teeth after, eat a little bit of salt to get the taste out of my mouth, because even then I still have it, and then eat like some my gummy candies, because I eat some gummy candies before the gym, because the pre-workout, I don't know, it makes me want to gag. All protein makes me want to gag. So bro, there's better ways to make a protein shake. Like, look, I'm gonna give you a perfect natural protein shake. This is some sauce, bro. Write this down. If you go to the store and you get a protein bar, it's gonna have about 21 grams of protein, and it's gonna have about 270 calories. Trash. 300 calories on some of them. You get 2 eggs, that's 140 calories, and that's 14 grams of protein. Then you get 1 stick of mozzarella cheese, that's 90 calories, and another 8 grams of protein. So you now have 14 plus 8, you now have 22 grams of protein, and you have 80 plus 140, 220 calories. So you have the same amount of protein as one of those protein bars, but 2 eggs with some mozzarella cheese, and you cooking that tastes way better, and it's way easier to take down than a nasty protein bar that tastes like crap. You put in 2 eggs and a stick of mozzarella cheese, the natural mozzarella cheese, bro, and that's 21 grams of protein. That's a little protein hack for you. You put that on the saucepan. It takes like 3 minutes to fucking cook, bro. 220 calories, 21 grams of protein. You can literally eat that before the gym, and you won't even feel it in your stomach, because 2 eggs is nothing. I like the blueberry pies because blueberry pies have like 400 calories and they're this fucking tiny. So I'm skinny, bro. I need to eat. I struggle to eat. I struggle real bad. Huh. We came down, we formed support. This 4 hour barely did anything on this retracement, and now we're coming down without a bottom wick on the 4 hour and without a bottom wick on the daily. This SMA is looking like it might want to bounce off. Maybe we're starting to scoop on the hourly. Kind of. What's this 30 doing? Well, we did scoop on the 30, but we haven't broken any highs, and we have no top wicks here. So we could be coming up for this session to create a top wick for a continuation to the downside. I know you ICT people would be looking at this fair value gap right here. Or I've never had cookies and milk for a midnight snack. I usually have blueberry pie and milk. I'm not a fan of cookies. What's that? That's a fair value gap. But this level is also very important because you have all these wicks here. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Check out how ICT is just regular stuff. Look, I'm gonna spit some more sauce. This is why ICT is just regular stuff. I just marked out a fair value gap on the 5-minute, right? And let's look at this. Let's look at the hourly. What do you see? Or no, the hour is much cleaner on this on the 15-minute. But what do you see here on this 15-minute? You see a bunch of rejections here. So if price does come up to this area, ICT would likely be selling off this area. So if price does do that, what do you see? I know you probably already see it. You see the head and shoulders. If price does come up to right here, it's a simple fucking head and shoulders, bro. It's the same shit, bro. It's gonna be the neckline of the head and shoulders. All the same caca. All the same everything, bro. If price does come up there, that's literally a head and shoulders, but it's also a fair value gap, an area for you to get a rejection off of. But that gap lines up with the resistance over here. And so it's all very similar. Like when Wixicity doesn't understand it, that's because he hasn't looked too deep into it. And he hasn't watched ICT traders actually trade live. Because when you do look at them live and you look at what they're doing, it makes perfect sense. At least to me it does. See, look, right now on the 30-minute we have another fair value gap, and it's also another head and shoulders. So look at this, the fair value gap from this wick to this wick, and then what do you have as well? You have your head and shoulders. Price comes up, creates a resistance here, and now you have your head and shoulders pattern. Same stuff. And now if price rejects off this fair value gap, you would be rejecting off the neckline of your head and shoulders, which is exactly what Alex G teaches. Your break and retest off the neck and line, head and shoulders, and then ICT would teach you a fair value gap off your and you want to be on the discount end of the range, because the higher up you are, the closer you are to this area, so you can have a smaller stop loss, which would be the discount area because your stop loss is smaller. So if you think about it logically and you actually listen to them break it down, it's all the same stuff that you already do. Obviously you want an entry all the way above here. Where would you have your entry? If you're looking for the head and shoulders, you look for the most recent area that price has rejected off of, and the price has rejected off this level. So you would get an entry off this level here with your stop loss on the break of the high. So it's all very, very similar stuff. Same stuff when you start looking deeply into these concepts, bro. When you start looking deeply into all these guys are like, oh yeah, I just do liquidity grabs. And then you look at the liquidity grab, and the liquidity grab is this right here. And I'm looking over, and I'm like, well, there's an order block right here. So an ICT guy would look at this order block, and then he would mark this order block up, and then he would mark this fair value gap on the first break of this level. The fair value gap was touched by this wick, and they would take buys on the way up with a stop loss at this area down here, which is the same thing as a liquidity grab person that would mark up this area of liquidity and take a buy as soon as price wicks into this area with a stop loss at the bottom. So millions of different strategies, all to look at the same thing. We're just all looking at it from different angles. That's why I don't judge another trader. The only reason I judge a little bit more ICT traders is because ICT really made it difficult for people to understand this shit. He really made it difficult for people to understand these concepts when at the end of the day, we're all finding the same things. If we're all finding and identifying the same things, bro, why do you have to make it so complicated with fair value gap, with discount area, PD array, and all this other stuff? Right. So if you know how to trade supply and demand, then you know why we're looking for a wick entry at that supply and demand level, because we're bullish and because price came driving down first without the top wick. It's most likely going to create a bottom wick somewhere. So if you're looking for that wick entry, you're going to look for a supply and demand area. You're going to look for the most recent support or resistance. You're going to look for a fair value gap. And it just so happens that all of those different levels usually align very similarly. So ICT's entry could be 10 pips away from mine. Discount area is this. So let's say you're taking sells. You want your discount area to be above the 50% line. So you measure out this entire range, right? And it's 54 pips. So the discount area would be anywhere under 54, anywhere under half of that, which would be 22 pips. So your entry you would want it to be anywhere under 22 pips. So your stop loss can be under half of what the whole move would be. So if your stop loss is under half of what the whole move would be, your RR would technically be higher because there's more room for price to drive, which is the same thing as you wanting your entry as close to support or resistance as possible. So if this whole move is 52 pips, you would look at the 25 pip mark, which would be right here. You would look at the 25 pip mark, which would be right here, and then your discount area would be anywhere from here up if you're looking for sells. So your entry anywhere here is perfect because it's less than half of what the full move is. So that's a way that they explain it much more difficultly. But if you know how to read candles, exactly. If you're a real trader, you don't judge other traders' strategies. If you listen to their strategy, you can see what they're seeing. It'll make sense to you. You'll understand it. Just like how I've never in my life ever traded ICT, and I'm able to understand the concepts a lot easier because of years of reading candles. Yeah, and but it makes perfect sense. You're like, a discount area. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, well, they want you to measure out the entire range, and then if your entry, they want your entry to be under half of what, below the half mark of that entire range. Because if you're taking an entry there, your stop loss is going to be, the whole range is 100 pips. You want your stop loss to be less than 50 pips. So that way, if it does drive the full 100 pips, your risk to reward is more than a 1-to-1. So you want the highest possible risk to reward. So you want the closest possible entry to the top of the range as possible, or to the bottom of the range if you're trading, if you're doing buys. Right. Smart Money Concepts has the very similar things, bro. Very similar things. And then, like, ICT wants you to wait for a point of liquidity to get taken out, or sell side liquidity or something like that. And you're like, well, if this is my sell side liquidity, which is basically what it is, that means that I'm just looking for a steeper bottom wick for a push up. And if I know that today has no top wick, and we're coming down and we wick into this area, and we start flipping bullish, that's most likely where the daily bottom wick is going to be, and we're likely going to drive up to make a top wick for the daily, which would be the sell side liquidity being taken out, or the buy side liquidity, I don't know the name, being taken out. So, like, if you just listen to these concepts and try to understand them, you're like, wow, it's the same thing as a head and shoulders pattern. It's the same thing as me looking for the best possible entry, which would be at the lowest, as close to a resistance or support as possible. So it's all similar stuff. Yo, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Gotta use the bathroom. All right. Oh yeah, bro, I'm fast as fuck, boy. So, with the previous daily low being all the way down here, and us having a lot of rejections to the downside here, it's very hard to say if we're gonna be bullish or bearish. So if we're really gonna start rejecting to the downside, we would need a top wick on our daily. Ideally, we would want a top wick on our daily. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna pin your message. So ideally, if you want to be bearish for the day, you want a top wick on the daily. So where is the top wick on the daily going to be? Ideally, you want it to respect this neckline so it can create a nice head and shoulders for you. So yes, I wash my hands, brother. Time it, bro. I ran into the bathroom. I went, ugh, the piss went, and then I turned on my sink. I went, and then I dapped my hand on the towels, and it was still wet. So then I went like this on my shirt, and I kept going. That was fast. But no, that was the first squirt of the coffee. Usually when I drink coffee, immediately after finishing the cup, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I just drank a cup of coffee before stream. So how long has stream been going? It's been going on for an hour now. So that's damn. Hey bro, you guys asked, dog. I like to be as transparent as possible, bro. I swear, bro. Whatever you ask, I will answer to the best of my ability, except if you ask me how much money I have in my bank account. You know, that's a little different, but anything else, bro, I don't give a shit, bro. You ask me how many evals I've taken, 50 evals. It doesn't matter, bro. You gotta be as transparent as possible. You gotta be as transparent. This is my first one on Top Step. Why would I lie to anybody? The second that you lie and you start making shit up, you're gonna forget that you lied. And then later down the line, you're gonna say something, and then somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, but I thought you said it was this." That's why you gotta keep it real, bro. Don't lie. But okay, so ideally, I want to see a top wick on this daily, bro. So where would the top wick ideally be? You wanted to see it respecting this area over here and then coming down, because that would give you a nice head and shoulders. I mean, it doesn't have to. It can do something else, but ideally, that's what you want. And what does that area align with? It aligns with these two little areas right here where price pulled back on the continuation to the downside, which is important because this whole area right here you could reject off of. So I'd really like to see what the next hourly does on our way up or down, because two things could happen here. We could be setting up for a continuation to the downside, so price could be coming up, creating that retesting that neckline for a continuation to the downside to retest that no bottom wick on the daily. You see what I'm saying? Or to make that bottom wick for that daily that we drove up without. So that would be the ideal play because of this downtrend that we did. We pulled back with no bottom wick on the daily, and we're at all-time highs. Ideally, I would like to see us come down. That would be the cleanest trade that I see. But if we do start coming down without this top wick, without this pullback, it's hard to take sells, because the same thing happened last night where we came up with no bottom wick, and I took sells at the most recent area of resistance to anticipate that bottom wick being formed, but we didn't get that move. We just kept driving without a bottom wick, and we drove 300 pips from yesterday's open. What was it here? Yeah, somewhere right here. The open, 239 pips we drove. You trade GJ? How's GJ treating you, bro? I left GJ like a year ago because I had like a 90% loss rate on GJ. So, I don't know if you can hack my account with this, but if you do, you're not gonna get shit, pussy. I trade on TradingView, so even if look, I'll switch over to my live account on TradingView. Boom, 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 boom. Where's AMP? So this is my live account on AMP Live. So I do have a live account. I'm not a liar. I got one. But I'm not going to show you my balance because after what I think happened to Don, this is just me speculating, but he said he had like a scary life situation that caused him to not show his broker anymore. And to me, that means that somebody saw how much money he has and went to him in person and tried to ask him for some money. That's what I think that means. And I'm a Floridian. I live in Florida. And I know a lot of people here live in Florida. And a lot of Don's following is mainly from the States. So for somebody to run into him in Canada was a little bit more rare. But for somebody to run into me here in Florida, brother, I'm the most local person in the world. I go to Miami all the time. I'm going to Orlando this weekend. I live in Palm Beach. So I'm up and down Florida all the time. So I'm not trying to have anybody ask me for money. Especially not in person. Especially not in person, bro. But yeah, bro, it's this is ideally what I would like to see. If we do start coming down, man, that's hard. I would have to see yeah, I do, bro. You guys want to see my guns? I don't know if I can. I think I can show it to YouTube. Of course I carry, bro. I'm a savage. This is my CZ Scorpion. This is from Call of Duty. It's one of my babies. I keep this one locked and loaded right under my bed. And then this is the one that I carry. A Ruger LC9. So it's a 9mm and it holds 9 rounds. So I keep this one in my drawer. Yeah, you can, bro. My last rifle video got like 20,000 views. Nah, YouTube promoted my last rifle video. I promoted the last 2 of my rifle videos. Check this out. Nah. YouTube likes pew-pews. So this last video that I posted about, I posted a video saying banning AR-15s doesn't work. # gun control. And they got 5.3K views with 464 likes. My other video I posted shooting range fail. 14K views, 250 likes. The other one, I posted, I was gonna start blasting off Ops America as the hashtag, and it got 500 likes, 11K views. My other video, I put shooting range fail again, and it got 12K views, 500 likes. So all my pistol videos and stuff all do pretty well. Fucking, I think that I would love for gold to come up tonight, bro. If we start coming up tonight and then 9 o'clock starts coming around and we start getting no top wick closure with the top wick coming up to this area and a rejection to the downside, man, that would be such a beautiful trade, bro. That would be such a beautiful trade. Market is starting to look like the markets again. We're starting to reject off levels. We're starting to really respect levels again. The market is starting to look very, very solid again. I'm starting to, when we were on our way to all-time highs for like the last month, bro. I was forcing too many shorts, bro. Forcing too many shorts. And what up, Spaceman? I was forcing too many shorts, bro. Hey, listen, YouTube. I apologize for what I did. I'm a Democrat. I support Kamala Harris. I support Vance. That's no. Waltz. Damn, I don't even know who I'm voting for, bro. Sorry, YouTube. I apologize. Forgive me. Govgate, no bottom wick on what? On the daily? Yeah, we have a tiny bottom wick on the daily. I'm apologizing to YouTube for showing my blicky. I don't want them to shadow ban me. Oh yeah, zoom back 45 seconds, a minute. Just before you came in, I had just put it away. Literally as you came in, the delay caused you not to see it, the 5-second delay. I forgot, I didn't put it on fast latency or ultra fast latency or whatever. So low latency, sorry. So it's lagging a little bit. But I think that I think we'll be alright. So today we had some pretty decent sells off these highs here. I know this is Javier entry, the market mechanic. He likes to take this kind of entry right here, but this was 945, 930, so it was hard to take a sell here when you're that close to news. But see how price broke to the downside, massive volume candle. You could have taken an entry on the flip of the next candle, but we're starting to kind of get the same thing here. No, we're not. So I mean, we are getting a downtrend here like this. And if you start breaking to the upside after creating this tiny little bottom wick for the daily, you could take some buys bouncing off this support area to create that top wick for then a rejection to the downside. Because overall, I'm bearish. So overall, since I'm bearish, that doesn't mean I can't take any buys, but my buys would be on the wick off the daily low, and then once we fill the range, that would be it. But this is a pretty big range. What do we have now? It's only 35 pips. But that would be how I would anticipate these buys. If we start respecting these areas and we start coming up, breaking the daily high off this area right here, you could take some buys coming up here where in order for it to create a top wick for the daily. And then once you do create a top wick for the daily and you start getting into the zones that you want, you leave a runner just in case it does run. But if it doesn't run, then you can start taking your sells off the rejections off this area. I should have put B on there. But I mean, see, look, if we do start to come up and break the daily highs, man, that'd be a pretty clean play. I don't start trading until 7:30, so I likely won't be able to get in on that. But yeah, brother, I'm gonna call it here, so that way Market Mechanic can start setting his stuff up. I'm gonna go hit the gym, and I'm actually just gonna go do the sauna today. I'm not gonna work out, but I'm gonna hit the gym and go to get some food, brother. But yeah, let me a little recap of my trades today. I had a loss on gold here on the continuation to the downside. I took a loss. Oop. Sorry, down here. I took a loss here on gold, and then I took another short here, and I almost got stopped out. I was literally 5 pips away from being stopped out. I'm going to post a short about it later. And I closed here. It wasn't a full 1-to-1. No, sorry, my bad. My entry was like up here. So it was almost a 1-to-1, 0.75. And then so basically I lost 0.5% here, and then I made 0.5% here. So I'm break even. I made 0.25% Monday or Sunday night. Sorry, I made 0.25% Monday. Tuesday, I didn't trade anything. Wednesday, I took this loss, and then today I took this win. So in total on this account, I have like 4 trades. I have 1 win, 1 loss, 2 wins, and 1 loss. So in total, I'm up 0.25%. These two accounted for break even, and I'm up basically 0.25%. So what I'm looking for is a continuation to the upside for a rejection to then come down. That's what my idea is. That's what I would like. But that doesn't mean that if price kind of comes down, taps the daily lows again, and then we start re-breaking these daily highs here, I can't take a buy to come up to the upside. You know what I mean? I can easily take a buy here to come up to the upside after another rejection of the downside, or a flip of the daily candle, because that would indicate that we're creating a top wick for the daily. So you can take a buy stop as soon as the daily flips, or you can try to look for an entry right here at the bottom with your stop loss right over here. Because if you do start coming down and re-break the daily lows, that's going to indicate some volume re-breaking the daily low, and you're going to push down pretty steep. So where's the next level of support? All the way down here. So I don't want to hold it for 100 pips, 74 pips. So if we do break and wick below these areas, that's where I would likely have my stop loss. So we can get a possible trade around 7, but I would have my stop loss, like I would get this wick, and then I would probably, that's just tiny, 16 pips, so I would make it, no, sorry, that is 12 pips. So yeah, I would add more, bro. I would make it like right here, the most logical level, I would say, because we have a level of support right here. So I would put it under these wicks. So if price does come down, re-breaks the daily lows, I'll give it a little bit more room to reject and come back up, but I really wouldn't want to give it more room. And my break-even point, if I do get an entry down here, would be the daily flip. So once this daily flips, I would go break even, and yeah, so that's something that you could be looking for as well. There's not a lot of volume right now, so maybe the next half-hour candle, maybe if this next half-hour candle comes down, makes a bottom wick, and then flips bullish, or if we close doji and then we get a bottom wick and then a flip bullish, you know what I mean? That would be perfect. We close doji respecting support, the next candle comes down, retaps the daily low, and then flips bullish. That would be a nice little buy there to anticipate the top wick for the daily. But let me stop rambling. And I'm gonna call it here, gang. I appreciate every single one of you guys for showing up, for answering questions and talking with me and hanging out. You guys are the shit. I fuck with every single one of you. I'm gonna start doing Zooms next week. I have to sign up for my YouTube so that I can be monetized as well. I'm gonna start doing the Zooms next week and start putting them in the chat. I have to bring my other PC so that I can connect it, so I can do YouTube off that PC and then Zoom off of this one, so my stuff doesn't lag. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me, gang. I will see you guys later.